Methanogens are a category of archaebacterium which are capable of growing on cellular material and produce a large quantity of methane gas along with carbon dioxide and hydrogen. The specific type of these methanogens, one of the example can be of methanobacterium. These methanobacterium are capable of producing the biogas. Biogas is, as the name suggests, it is a biological gas and it is produced with the help of the same methanobacterium. These methanobacterium are present in the rumen part of stomach of cattle. Most of the herbivores are cattle, and these herbivores consume the grass and plant products. Plant has an outer covering of cellulose, and for the digestion of those cellulose there should be presence of certain bacteria, because normally the digestive system cannot secrete any cellulase enzyme for the digestion of these plant outer coverings. But since the main food product which is or main food which is taken up by the cattle is grass or any plant product, so for the for their nutrition it is important that the same plant product gives them proper energy or nutrition. It can only be done if we are capable of digesting it with the help of an enzyme which is cellulase. This cellulase enzyme is present in the body of the cattle, not the cattle. This cellulase enzyme is present in the body of the methanobacterium, and this methanobacterium lies in the rumen part of the stomach of these cattle. So whenever the cattle or cow, buffalo, whichever animal it is, when they are consuming the grass, it is getting, they churn the grass and it is stored in the rumen part. And while it is present the rumen, at that time the methanobacterium they start acting over it. There can be some other examples like rhinococcus. It is also a kind of methanogen which acts over the food or the chewed food which is or chewed plant product which is there in the rumen, and hence after the breaking down of or after the release of cellulase, the digestion process begins. So the nutrients they are absorbed by the cattle's body, whereas the undigested food product or undigested plant product is eliminated out by the process of digestion. And at the same time, when the substances or when the undigested food is excreted out, along with the excreta there is presence of large amount of rhinococcus, methanobacterium and similar kind of methanogens which help in acting on the next type of plant products whichever come in contact with it. So suppose cow dung is present at a particular place which has presence of lot of cellular plant cellular products, so those cellular products will also get degraded by the same rhinococcus and methanobacterium, and as a result there will be production of a pungent smell. That pungent smell is the methane, and that can be extracted in order to produce fuel. Since the excreta of the cattle is helpful in formation of this biogas, that's why this biogas has another name which is known as the gobar gas. So this is a plant which is known as biogas plant. It consists of a big vessel which is the site of deposition of the slurry. The slurry is made by mixing the cow dung with water, and when it is filled up in this tank, then after there is addition of harvested agricultural products. So the end product of harvest is of no use for the farmers and they generally burn it. So in spite of burning them, they can put it inside the same slurry which consists of the cow dung mixed with lot of water. And as the bacterium they come in contact with again the agricultural waste, they act upon it and they start producing large amount of gas. This gas can be ejected out with the help of biogas pipe from here, and then after it can be used for fuel purpose or for cooking purpose. What is this digest? Once this entire cow dung slurry, which is now completely used, and now there is no presence of any cellular material inside it, so it has to be removed out and new slurry has to be added. So that's why this digest is kept, so that excessive or already digested or fermented part of the slurry can be removed and can be used as a manure for the crop fields. So this biogas plant is helping in various ways. First thing, it is making a fuel or energy out of debris, out of a substance which is completely useless, or it is a kind of waste. So waste is getting used to produce gas. Second thing is agricultural waste which was to be burned and which could produce lot of pollution is now getting converted into manure by acting upon with the help of these methanogens, and this conversion is avoiding the pollution and is also helping in production of manure. So it is helpful in both the ways. Manure formation is also taking place, as well as electricity also we are getting, and cooking gas also we are getting. So this is a structure of a small biogas plant. It is a very small setup and it can be done very easily in order to benefit the people in villages. The same diagram is made once again. Here, the influent pipe is the place from where the mix, which is also known as a mixing tank, because the agricultural waste is mixed with the cow dung and then it is allowed to pass through and come into the digester tank. As the name is digester tank, so here there is the entire fermentation process going to take place, and when the level of the gas, which is methane gas, rises, this gas tank holder, it starts moving up, and when it's moving up, at that time people get an idea that there is enough amount of gas formed, now we can use it for various purposes. Similarly, the effluent pipe is there, so that once this digester is the slurry in the digester is completely inactivated. At first it was activated by usage or addition of cow dung. Once all the cellular material is fermented, now it is of no use, so it is ejected out during this time, and again fresh slurry is added in the digester tank, so that the process goes on continuing. And what happens to the substance or the digested fermented or the digested content of the tank? It is used as manure in the crop fields. The composition of biogas is quite important because it is asked at times, and the answer to it is very high quantity of methane, little carbon dioxide and hydrogen along with nitrogen and oxygen is evolved out in the biogas. The process of production of biogas is quite simple because cow dung is containing the rhinococcus and methanobacterium or any kind of methanogen. When this cow dung or any animal dung is mixed along with the domestic waste, the crop yield waste, then it and is put into a digester tank, then we can extract the methane gas from there, and biogas is prepared in the similar way. There are various microbes which are used for biocontrol, and they are these two, like Bacillus thuringiensis and Trichoderma, which we have studied in detail several times. Today, let's discuss about the NUCLEOPOLYHEDROVIRUS. The Bacillus thuringiensis, it is capable of fighting against the bollworms, the cotton plant. It fights against the pest which tries to attack the cotton. Trichoderma, it is capable of protecting the pest which attacks the nodules of the plants. The nucleopolyhedrovirus or baculovirus is a kind of polyhedral capsid virus, and it gets its name because of the presence of that crystal structure. protein structure, crystal protein outer structure. It dissolves, the main function is that it dissolves in the midgut part of the moths and butterflies, and within 3 to 7 days it shows its action, and the insect, the bollworm, or sorry, the any kind of caterpillar or the butterflies, they all die because of bursting of the gastric part. You can see the example over here. See, insect feeds on the leaf of baculovirus. Then after the insect's midgut is infected, dissolving of occlusions bodies of the midgut and releasing of the virions. Virions are the activated part of, or the active virus particles. These active virus particles affect the normal cells and infect all the nearby cells. As a result, the expression of the disease is there, or expression is there, the uh, insect, it is dead. Biofertilizers can be used in spite of the pesticides, because they are natural and they do not harm the nature. The azospirillum or azotobacter, they are free living bacterium and they are capable of increasing the nitrogen content in the soil. Once the fixation of nitrogen is done and it is converted into ammonia, the soil is enriched with high amount of nitrogen content, and this nitrogen content is not synthetic, it is natural, and that's why it increases the yield of the crops. The course of acting of rhizobium is shown over here. You can see that attachment of rhizobium with root hair of host legume. First of all, the rhizobium comes in contact with the root hair cells. Then the interaction between the rhizobial polysaccharide and the legume lectins takes place. And then after this surface polysaccharides, they start generating the lectins. And as a result, nitrogen substances are, or nitrogen fixation goes on occurring in the soil. IPM is known as integrated pest management, and it is a technique which is used to control the pest in the croplands. There are various techniques which should be followed in order to maintain or control the pest in the crop fields. First of all, we should do regular monitoring. We should always check that what is the condition of the leaf, the plant, the roots. Everything has to be checked regularly, on regular basis. Good sanitization, garbage management is to be done. Good sanitization in the sense, we should check if the leaves are not getting rotten, because if you leave the dead leaves in the crop field, then there is a chance that some other pest will work upon it, and as a result, there may be few more insects which will be attacking the plant. If a fruit is rotten, then from the rotten fruit again the insects will be attacking the nearby fresh fruit. So we have to check that. Garbage management is very important. In the similar way, if good sanitization is maintained, so garbage has to be eliminated out from the crop fields. Combination of non-chemical low impact insecticides and rodenticides are to be used. We should rely more on the biofertilizers and less on the chemical substances, because the chemical substances make the soil lose its fertility. So we have to always use the soil, but in a limited way, in a sustainable way, so that the crop fields are fertile for a longer period of time. Repairing structural damage for a well sealed building. The crops, once they are harvested, they need to be kept in storage house. So these storage house needs to be checked regularly. There should be no hole in it, because water may, if rainy season is there, then there may be water leakage, and because of which the grains which are stored may get destroyed. Even if there is a hole anywhere in the walls, then through the damaged part of the wall, there can be entry of any kind of rodents, and rodents will be able to feed over it and increase their number and destroy the entire grains which are stored. So these all are basic ideas or basic things which can be done in order to monitor the amount of crop or monitor the agricultural products. There are various harmful effects of chemical pesticides. See, when the pesticides are sprayed on cropland, it is not only absorbed by the plants, it is also leached below the root zone by rain or irrigation. This is something we are aware. Even this same leached in the sense it is absorbed inside, degraded by bacterial oxidation or chemical hydrolysis. Some of these pesticides, they can, we are not aware that what kind of end products are these pesticides going to give to the soil, because we are just aware that initially it is helping in increasing the phosphate and nitrogen content in the soil, but we are not aware that what kind of impact it is going to give in a long run, because definitely certain microbes will be there, and those microbes will be acting upon the nitrogenous compounds which are formed, and the end product which we are imagining may be completely different from what we had thought of, because the bacteria may transform it into something completely different which may be harmful for us. Adheres to the soil particles, vaporized to atmosphere and degraded by the ultraviolet rays. See, the same chemicals, they are now getting to the atmosphere and they are degraded by the UV rays. The UV rays may be transforming the entire pesticide into something completely different. And with the help of rainfall, the same pesticide which is transformed now is falling on the ground. And this rainfall can take place on the plants like forest areas. It can also take place to the water bodies, and sometimes along with the rain, the water containing this pesticides is drained in the water bodies, and the water bodies which has the aquatic life is had adversely affected because of the use or encounter with the pesticides. The fishes feed on it, the aquatic animals feed on it, and then after they show very dangerous impacts, and they are life threatening to them as well. So we should always rely on sustainable way of development rather than relying on any other form of any other form, may be it chemical or any other way. Always